Welcome to the Retro Blood.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Retro Blood.
Yeah.
As we start off a brand new month here in the month of November, talking some time together with your loved ones, some time together with your family, whether it be your immediate family or an extended family member, coming into your household, having a jolly time, having a big feast, doing some retail hell. This is the month of November, and this is Retro Blood's Killer Family Month. And we're starting this one off kind of hot because we are talking a double dose. If y'all like family issues, if y'all like single moms, yeah, buddy.
We all love single moms.
With some kiddos, usually teenagers.
Usually, that's usually what single mom means.
If you like this one guy who got his sister killed and he looked for her for the whole movie and then he got killed really easy. And if y'all like a psychologist who got himself worked basically and had our killer escape super easy out of this mental hospital. And if you like the most devastating slasher killer of all the 1980s, that's right, move over, Michael Myers. We don't need you. Move over, Jason. We don't need you.
We don't need you. Nope.
Get out of here, brother. You're old news.
Yeah.
You know why?
Because all we need is Gene.
Or Jerry.
Or Jerry.
The man who goes by multiple names. Because we have the Stepfather.
Yeah.
J.H. Alison, James Kline. What's happening, Alison? How do you feel being in, what is it, Progoria, Washington? Where the hell is this?
Yes, they're in Washington. Yeah, they're in Washington State. You know, I have never seen these movies before. Have you ever seen them before this?
I haven't. And by the way, everybody, we are doing a mega episode. We are actually doing Stepfather 1 and 2 on this episode.
A double feature.
We have a double feature over here. First of all, there's a couple things why. First of all, me and Alison are busy out there in our shoot lives. Of course, we both had huge Halloween plans that we just could not escape. So we didn't have time to record. Also, too, why is this like a series?
Like, why is there more than one of them?
Yes. I could not believe this.
I can't believe there's more than two. There's three and at least three.
Well, there's three of them, right? And then there's a remake.
A remake. I don't know if we needed a remake of this.
Yes. And then remake is apparently PG-13. And I was what the hell is going on here, brother?
Boo.
All right, so we'll talk about. So this episode is going to be a little different than normal. We're doing two movies in one. We're probably not going to do our weekly history segment because it's just too much to jam into this episode. But we'll break down like both movies. And it just, I don't know, like I get like slashers are huge in the 80s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like right now we're just picking straws, brother. Like we are really just like, you know what?
Well,
this might be this right now. This is going to be like, those like daytime shows, like those soap operas and shit. That's what this remind me of in the 80s until they added on some like killer aspects of it.
Yeah, I mean, I see why they made this because it's kind of there's a scary aspect of like, this stepfather person moving into your home and you don't really know who they are, but they're living with you and they're acting like your dad now. And, that can be kind of scary. And then what if he's actually a bad guy? What if he's actually a murderer? That kind of thing. I see how that could be a thing, but like but the second one was just probably unnecessary. Like we didn't need a second for one of these, I think. I think the first movie was enough.
Yeah, I mean the concept is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like you were saying.
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy that, this because it can happen like in real life. I'm pretty sure it has before. You get like you always hear these horror stories sometimes, or these stepdads, kind of taking over the family and abusing the kids and stuff like that.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's a very real subject. And this was it was actually inspired by a real life serial killer, which we'll talk about
Okay.
here pretty soon. But I think you're right. The concept is real and crazy, and it does happen. But like the execution of these movies, I don't know. I don't think they kind of like hold up. Like, okay, there's one thing about new age horror that I do like.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say they do the realistic murder a little better than we did in the 80s. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about like the cool, slimy 80s cool shit, okay? Or like the cool slashers and parties and stuff. I'm talking about like the real, like, if you look at somebody, if you can imagine somebody breaking into a house or whatever and killing somebody, and you're watching it, it looks more realistic. I would say probably nowadays movies compared to these ones. So I think
I can kind of see that.
I think they do that aspect a lot better. I mean, I could name a couple. There's some murder scenes on the VHS series that is way more realistic than our boy Jerry over here, strangling the girl from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So so in that aspect, I think the movies were lacking, but that's just the time, they were in. Besides the first one, I don't think the second one was actually even creepy at all. Like it was just more like a lovey-dovey story, and there was this male girl, the girl from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, going through his mail and trying to find out about his desperately secret, and then all the action pretty much happens at the end.
Right. So, I mean, I thought that it was pretty. The second one, I don't know, maybe humorous is not the word, but it was kind of like, he was like just living his life. And then every time somebody figured out who he was, he'd be like, oh, I wish you hadn't have done that. And then he just killed him.
Yeah.
Basically. The first one I thought was actually a pretty good movie. It was pretty creepy in some ways where, he's like trying to infiltrate himself into this family and, then he gets everybody to actually like him. And then he turns out to actually be a killer.
Yeah.
So, which is kind of cool.
The first movie did have the two heroes, I guess, of the story. Was the brother of the girl whose family died off screen in the beginning.
Yeah.
And he was tracing him down the whole time, and nobody would try to find him, and the reporters and the cops didn't do anything. And then we had the daughter knowing that this Jerry guy was a creep the whole time. So the second one didn't really have that. Like it only had like basically one person throughout the whole movie, and she was only like halfway through it that was catching on to Jerry's secrets here. So, but let's talk about some of the history behind the making. Why were these movies made? Let's talk about who booked this shit. Who came up with the devastating stepfather to find your single mom, charm them with the most plain Jane looking dude ever. All right. Well, he is the guy from The Lost. I guess that kind of counts. People like that show.
Yeah, like Terry O'Quinn is one of one of my favorite actors. I love that guy. So I think he's one of the things. Yeah, I think he's one of the things that saved it for me here. It was weird seeing him with hair though, because I haven't seen him with hair in quite a few years. But
So the first one, we'll talk about the first one. Okay, The Stepfather, 1987. Okay, this was directed by Joseph Rubian. All right. And Joseph over here, all right. He's done a couple stuff before. He did the in the 80s. He did Gorp. All right.
Gorp. I haven't seen that.
Dreamscape.
Dreamscape is a movie that I love. That's a great movie.
Believer there, Alison.
I've heard of that movie, but I've never seen it.
All right. So I did Sleeping with My Enemies, 1981. So he's done a couple stuff. You know what I mean? Obviously, it has Terry O'Quinn, who plays the stepfather in both Stepfather 1 and 2. He does not return for the third one
Yeah,
because
boo.
he didn't want to be typecast as a psycho weirdo.
The psycho.
And to be honest with you, thank God, because he did. There's what else? And a third one, that one went straight to home video anyway. All right.
Yeah.
So you're like this one, Alison. Do you know anything about the third one or no?
No, nothing.
Okay, great. So I kind of wish we could do the third one. You know what I mean? Maybe one day we'll open up 90s and shit. We probably, bro. So it follows the story,
right?
But it omits two things. So Terry didn't want to come back. So what they did was they had the new guy come on there, right? And the storyline was, well, he got plastic surgery, so he's all good. He can start going terrorizing singles moms now.
So he plays the same person, but he had plastic surgery. So now he looks completely different.
Yes. And apparently they don't, at the end of number 2, by the way, spoilers, everybody. I don't know why. You guys should know our show by now. We just talk about, we don't really need to give spoilers in Warnerverse, but I'll give them just in case.
You should have watched the movie by now.
So you know how they got stabbed at the second movie with the fucking cake knife? They don't even bring that up in the third one. That never happened. It was all just a dream, brother.
All just a dream.
So basically, the big thing about this one, it was why this one was made. Okay, so the Stepfather one, 1987. All right, and the film was inspired by the crimes of John List. All right, that's our serial killer over here. So John List over here was an American mass murderer and longtime fugitive. On November 9th, 1971, he killed his wife, mother, and 3 children in their Westfield, New Jersey home, then disappeared. He had planned their murders so miraculously that nearly a month passed before anyone suspected that something was amiss. All right.
Okay.
So kind of similar to the Amityville stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, true, sort of.
So that's pretty much, so basically, let's see. So I'm not going to go into all the details, but okay. Okay, so it says Westfield, which is where the murders happened, had few violent crimes records since 1963. Received national attention as the site of one of the most notorious felonies in New Jersey since the kidnapping and murder of Charles Lambrig Jr. A nationwide manhunt was launched. Police ended an investigation on hundreds of leads without success. All reliable photographs of Listed had been destroyed. So let's see. The family's car, was found parked at John F. Kennedy Airport in New York City, but police found no evidence that List had boarded a flight. Alma's body was flown to Michigan and inherited at the Saints Cemetery. Helen and her 3 were buried at Fairview Cemetery. So let's see. Okay. So in 1971, the FBI later discovered List had traveled by train from New Jersey, first to Michigan, then to Colorado. He settled in Denver in early 1972 and took an accounting job under the name Robert Pete Bob Clark. Okay. One of his college classmates, although the real Bob Clark later stated he had never known List. From 1979 to 1986, he was the comptroller at the paper box manufacturer outside of Denver. So he joined a church and everything. He met Amy Clark, and they were married in 1985. So they moved to Virginia. List still uses the name Bob Clark. Resumed work as an accountant at a small accounting firm. Okay, so basically, he was doing kind of what this guy in this movie was doing. All right, where he would have a fake name and a job under that fake name, and then he infiltrated a family. All right.
So he made it a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
Like more than 10 years without getting caught.
Yeah. So I'm seeing when he actually got caught. So it said the judge, John List, is without remorse and honor. He said, after 18 years, 5 months, and 22 days, it is now time for the violence of Helen, Alma, Patricia, Frederick, and John F. List to raise from the grave. So I guess he went, 18 years basically.
Wow, without getting caught.
Yeah, without getting caught. And he was tried on April 12, 1990 All right. And he was 5 counts of murder.
I mean, that's amazing because back then you could do that. Like you could disappear and nobody would find you. It would be hard to do that now.
So, yeah, I mean, pretty much like, that's pretty much where our story is inspired from, is these true life accounting of this. All right. So it says Caroline Leafcourt found a newspaper article about how Liss killed his own family and brought it to Brian Garfield. Okay. Donald E. Westlake collaborated with them to write the story and base his screenplay on that. ITC Entertainment hired Joseph Rubin, the director, to direct, as they were impressed with his directional effort on Dreamscape, one of Alison's favorites.
Yeah, that's a good movie. We'll probably do it. We may do it on the show at some point. It's a good movie.
Yeah, sounds pretty fun. After coming on board, Rubin collaborated with Westlake on publishing the script and adding stronger scenes, such as where Stevens spies on Jerry having a tantrum in the basement. Rubin has also changed the character of an investigating cop into Jim Olivia, who was the brother of one of Jerry's previous victims, as a way of giving the character a driven reason to pursue Jerry. Oh boy, did he ever. Our boy Jim. God, bro, when he got stabbed, I was like, I watched that and I was on an airplane. Right. And I literally bust out laughing. I couldn't do it. But bro, this guy, his whole this whole thing, he was just determined he was gonna beat. I mean, he was determined the whole fucking movie to find his fucking sister's killer, bring him to justice, kill this motherfucker. Don't even tell the cops or nothing. And what does he do? He freezes and then he gets stabbed.
Yep.
Oh my God. They talk about job.
No kidding. That was hilarious. He definitely jobbed out the stepfather.
So it says the first filming started on October 16th, 1985 in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And by July 1986, the film was in post-production, searching for a distribution company. Eventually, Stepfather gained a deal with New Century Visa Film Corporation. And it was when it was released January 23rd, 1987, to a $2.5 million box office. There you go, brother. So people were that was tickling their fancy bone seeing what's going on with this stepbrother.
They were excited to see his stepfather. So,
So, obviously, in this one, like I said, we had Terry O'Quinn, which he's going to be in both of these. So we could talk a little bit about him. Obviously nowadays, I think he's probably best known for Lost TV show.
Playing John Locke.
Yeah. I never seen that show, but I know it's a very popular show. He was in Silver Bullet. All right. Remember that Stephen King movie that we did?
Oh yeah, he was in that. He was a guest star on the X-Files.
Yes.
A few times, one time or other.
When I looked at the guy, I was like, fuck, I knew him from somewhere, and it's probably the X-Files.
Probably, yeah. Because that's where I knew him from before Lost. Yeah. And he's been in quite a few things. He was in Young Guns. He had a small part in Rocketeer. That's what I can think of.
It was he was in an Amityville horror. He was in Amityville: The New Generation. There you go, brother.
I haven't seen that one though, but yeah.
So, and obviously, we had a couple of people on here. We had Stephanie Main. All right, this is played by Jill.
That played the daughter. Yeah. She's been in a bunch of horror movies. She was in Phantom of the Opera that we did like a couple of years ago that I can think of.
Yeah. So we had a couple people on here. So let's see. So for the casting, it said according to Rubin, there was an effort to secure a name actor for the role, but no one they approached was interested. All right. So
You don't say.
In addition to the actors voicing their discomfort with the extreme nature of the material, Rubin theorized that many have also been worried about typecasting affects their careers, much in the way Anthony Parkin's role in Psycho. did for his career.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's probably true. I mean, Anthony Perkins did get typecast, somewhat as a psycho, if you will. Although he had a really good career, though.
So I did like 4 of those films or something.
That's true. Well, I did 4 of them. Yeah.
With name actors off the table, Rubin began looking for character actors. On his first edition, Terry O'Quinn impressed producers with his reading of a scene in which Jerry is upset at hearing a guest at a barbecue discussing a newspaper article of Jerry's previous crimes, which leads to him using the newspaper to make a paper hat for a little boy, with the producers impressed by the immersive way in which he mimicked the folding of the hat, going beyond what was expected in the audition process. So that's how we got the film role. And
he's a great actor.
Also, too, Jerry, during this time, he also was in a lot of TV shows. So he was more like a character actor, like they were saying. So they couldn't find no big list guy. So they just went for the character actors, which, he actually did a really good job in this film. So
I agree.
With the script they gave him, I thought he did the best he could when it comes to the script and what they wanted him to do. But let's break it down a little bit. All right, let's break down Stepfather 1.
Let's do it.
Morrison isn't his real name. What is it? God knows. We don't. His personal history was falsified and his prints were untraceable. It was possible Morrison had done it before.
You can call me sentimental, I don't care. I have beautiful friends, I have a wonderful new family. So what do you think? Can we give this little guy a home?
Sure.
That's my girl.
He's a wonderful man, and he wants to care for us. I don't know. There's just something about him.
Oh, that guy in Bellevue who killed his whole family. Cut him up with knives. Maybe they disappointed him. All we need is a here.
You're a good boy, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. Get back to the lane.
Hi, honey.
He's just some crazy creep. Don't you talk to your father that way. He's not my father. How can you even bear to let him touch you? Stop it. We have to talk, honey.
About what?
About what is happening to our family.
I'm taking care of it.
He scares me, Dr. Ponder.
Who am I here?
Help me! Help!
You're a very bad girl.
The Stepfather.
All right. So we start off with the man washing his hands and, shaving his beard off.
Yeah.
And did you see the way he did this out? Both of us right now are bearded men. No shave November.
Exactly.
But this guy was shaving off his beard with the fucking straight razor blade.
Yeah.
Can you do that? Like that shit.
I don't do it myself, but my barber does that. When I go get my beard trimmed, he'll use a straight razor. It's the best shave you'll ever have, but I don't think I can do that myself.
He was just using a razor blade, not like the.
Not straight razor. Yeah, he was just using a razor blade. Yeah. Well, I mean that'll work, right? Whatever.
No,
I don't think I can. I don't think I can do that. But
all right. So basically, we see that this guy over here, which he goes by many names. I didn't write them all down, but his main name right now is going to be Jerry Blake. Okay.
Yes.
So basically, he killed this family, and he threw. I'm not sure if he threw the family's body off the boat or just the clothes he was wearing at the time off the boat.
I wasn't sure about that, but he was on a boat. Yes.
Yes. All right. So then after this, we meet most of our characters. Two characters out this film. We meet Stephanie Main and we meet Susan Main. So they're basically our single mom and daughter couple. And we already established that Susan has already been dating Jerry, and Stephanie thinks that Jerry, there's something off about him. He's a weird man. Okay. And they you can tell that they are not getting along too well. Okay. And this is also too when we have scenes from Jim, okay, the brother of the family that got killed at the beginning scene. We didn't see the family get killed at the beginning scene, but just implied that he murdered them. And we kind of saw like the aftermaths of him like changing his appearance. And he's just trying to find, this Jerry guy for the long time, even though he's not going by Jerry. In this film, he goes by Jerry Blake, Henry Morrison, and Bill Hodgkins. Okay.
In this movie, yes.
In this movie. So there's 3 aliases at this time. And at first, the big thing is like Stephanie's not doing too well at school. She gets into a lot of fights. She constantly sees her therapist. All right. And the therapist, she gets along with the therapist, but they're just going back and forth of what's going on at home. And basically Stephanie's blaming all her problems on the stepdad. All right.
Right. And the therapist doesn't want to believe that it's the stepdad's fault entirely.
Yeah. So we're trying to find more of like trying to figure it out more. So his name also too is Dr. Bonrant. All right. All right. So Jim, he tries to do, so Jim's big thing right now is he's trying to go to the newspaper. Okay. To publish the story of his sister's murder with the kids. All right. And run an article about it. And he wants to like show his face on the article because he knows like he can expect that this guy named Henry, which that's what he went by when he killed the first family.
Right.
He expects that he could get his face and stuff. He could track him down because he doesn't think he went too far. And he's also worried too that this guy could be, getting into another family and maybe doing the same things.
Sure.
Okay. So that's the newspaper guy. Basically, he's trying to get him, and they eventually run the article, but the article doesn't have the picture in it, and then Jim gets really mad. Okay. So while this is happening, Jerry, in his new life, he is a realtor. He sells homes to people.
Yeah, he's a realtor. Yeah,
and all the townspeople like him. Everything. He has these big barbecue and everything. And the first sign that we see that gets him hot and bothered, there, Alison, is the neighborhood's talking about the previous killer guy and how psycho this guy was, that he killed his whole family and everything. And Jerry sees it, and he's like, "Oh, I can't believe that." But then he gets all like, then they talk about it, and this is when Stephanie's looking at him like with some dead eyes, like, "I know that was you, motherfucker." All right. So now Jerry goes into the basement. He's all pissed off and he starts shouting and everything. And you know what I mean? Just kind of like getting all hot and bothered by it. And the whole time Stephanie sees it. Okay. And then, Jerry was just saying that he was letting some steam off. Okay.
Yeah,
that retail, bro, that's a hard job there, brother. Okay.
Yeah. And so this part I kind of liked because it was sort of realistic in the way that, like a daughter, with a new stepdad, and they see him kind of being violent. Maybe they think that he's just a violent person, right? So that was kind of realistic at this point, which I kind of liked that up to this point. I mean, I like this movie in general, but I thought it was a fairly realistic type thriller drama type movie at this point. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the first one does have a lot more drama aspects to it. Like this is, I thought this one was pretty good when it comes to that, that part.
Yeah.
So now Stephanie finds that newspaper clipping. Okay. And she writes to the newspaper requesting a photo of what this killer looks like, the sketch of what, because remember, it's not like Henry is like a drive-by killer where he just goes into a family's house and kills them. No, this guy is hanging out. He was part of the community. He's like Clark Kent. He has different Superman costumes, brother.
He's kind of like Clark Kent if Superman was like a serial killer, but yeah,
I don't know about that one. It's all he did was he had long hair and a beard and he shaved it. And you're like, oh, we can't recognize him at all. Who is he?
No, not at all. How would you ever know anybody like that?
So now Jerry gets to the mail and he sees that this package is for Stephanie. He opens it up and he finds his mugshot in there, I guess. And now he knows that Stephanie is onto him.
So I was going to ask you. So at this point, was he just looking through her mail, or did he suspect that she knew?
He was suspecting her because remember when they were talking about the story at the barbecue, she was staring at him and he noticed that, and he also noticed that she saw him freak out.
Oh, right.
So
true.
Okay. He was a little suspicious of her, and now his suspicions came true.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when you're in that line of work, Alison, not that I know, but when you're in that line of work of finding single moms and trying to be all crazy and shit, you got to be suspicious of everybody.
You do. You really do.
By the way, I like it how it just so happens he can go to the neighborhood that all the single moms are there.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean? Brother, maybe, you know what I mean? That's what neighborhoods do you go to, brother?
That's where they all end up, in the suburbs.
Yeah.
That's how you find them.
Yeah.
You don't find the single moms at the clubs. You find them in the you find them in the not that I would know. I'm just saying.
All right. Well, I think it's different nowadays, bro. There's some of these single moms out there, like
maybe it
not
is.
Even Jerry would be like, I gotta get out of here, brother. All right. So now what he did was he switched the photo out with somebody else. All right, like a stranger deal, right. And then that's how he would trick Stephanie. All right. So now we have the therapist. He's like, you know what? This girl Stephanie keeps blaming her problems on this guy. Maybe I should help her out because we're doing a little bit of a bond. Let me try to go visit this guy. So he calls up and Jerry's like, I'm not seeing this guy at all. Okay. So basically what the therapist guy does is he pretends that he's interested in a house. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so he meets Jerry at this house. Okay. They're asking questions and the doctor's trying to do some reverse psychology, talk about, I don't need a family. I don't like families and stuff like that.
Right.
And eventually Jerry is onto him. Mm-hmm. Okay. And basically Jerry just knocks him out in the house. Okay. And he basically kills him in the house. And then he finds out that this was the therapist that was seeing his stepdaughter the whole time. So Jerry wraps him up in a fucking rug.
Yeah.
Old school way, brother. Mafia style.
I was going to say sort of Dexter style, but Dexter, he puts him in a rug.
Throws him in a car and runs the car off the bridge. All right. So there goes there he goes. Mm. So now Jerry tells, Stephanie, like, hey, your therapist died last night. He ran off the cliff or whatever. That's what the newspaper were saying.
Right.
So they're and then now he builds like this birdhouse, and now the families are kind of getting along a little bit. All right.
Yeah, I thought this was kind of funny to me in a way because, so she suspected him of being or not necessarily a serial killer, but a murderer the entire time.
Yeah.
And then, at this point, once we know for 100% that he is a murderer, then she starts trusting him all of a sudden because they built a birdhouse together.
Yeah. So throughout the movie, Stephanie doesn't necessarily have an official boyfriend, but she has this guy that's liking her named Paul. Mm.
Yeah.
All right. So her and Paul, he drives her home on his scooter. All right.
Yeah.
Picking her up from work, I guess.
I guess so.
They'll talk about he used to date this older girl, blah, blah, blah. Then they get back home and they basically have this awkward moment where, like teenagers do. And then eventually Paul and them kiss.
Yes.
All right. So when they kiss, Jerry comes out, starts freaking out. Oh, what the fuck you all doing? You trying to rape my daughter, brother?
That was so weird.
Yeah. Well, he's a psycho guy. What do you expect?
Well, yeah, that's true. He is psycho, I guess. Yeah.
So he's getting all pissed at her and everything. And then Susan's like, what the hell, man? They were just kissing everything. And he's like, because basically the psyche of Jerry is he wants the perfect family. If not, he has to kill him.
Right.
All right. So the daughter can't do any of that fornicating. Nobody can do any of that shit. And he'll get all freaked out. And now Susan's like, well, you kind of like fucked up this family. Like, we were doing okay until you fucked her up again.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So now, let's see. So Stephanie runs off, and Susan says Jerry is her father, which she angrily denies, causing Susan to slap her. All right. And then that incident also drives Jerry to anger. And the next day, Jerry quits his job and starts creating a new identity.
Mm-hmm.
So now that there's some fractions within this family, they're not perfect anymore. Now he tries to do his new identity.
Right. Now he's going to have to set up a new identity and kill his family.
So, you know what's funny about that? Like,
what?
Did you see his new identity?
Yeah.
Really?
But, he's got to think about these. Like, he's got to come up with this shit, like, right off the top of his head. He didn't have time to think about it.
So he went on a ferry.
He did.
He goes to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm. He
proceeds to do a fake mustache.
Mm-hmm.
He puts on contacts that he can miraculously see. He maybe got some of them color contacts that I don't know they even had those in the 80s, but I guess they did. Maybe he has a whole box full of them. Yeah. And then he like pulls off his toupee to relieve he has a skullet. Oh, that's really gonna get the ladies.
Well, I mean, he, like I said, he had to think of this right off the top of his head. He doesn't have time to think about it. He's got to like come up with a new identity immediately.
So during all this, Jim, godly, this fucking guy. So now he has So now he's basically he was pissed off that the newspaper did not publish the photo like he wanted it. Okay. Right. So now he wants to figure out around this particular area. I guess they're still they didn't really say where they're at in this film, but if we're going off the number 2 film, they're in Washington. Okay.
Yeah, I still think he's in Washington, and the second one they're at Puget Sound, but in this first one, the first one they don't say exactly. That is a real place. Yeah, they don't say exactly where they are, but they're still in Washington State though.
So now Jim, he's trying to go to the cops and see if they can get him the records of everyone who has been married. But the cops like, I ain't doing that shit, brother. Whatever, you get away from me. So then the receptionist is getting a little sweet next to Jim, Paul. All right, and Jim. I don't know why I said Paul is the boyfriend. Jim is the one trying to find the revenge sister. He sweet talks the receptionist, and apparently he gets the records of everybody who's been married within the last couple months. And his plan now is to go door to door to see if he recognizes their face. All right, what a plan, brother! But hey, that's all you got.
Nice. Well, yeah, that's what you got, right?
So now he's going to door. All right, and this is when we get a scene of now. Basically, Jerry is now on the action of quitting everything. So he's quit his job, he transformed his look, and now he's plotting to kill the family. But Susan gets a little, reckless about. She gets a little antsy. She calls because she hasn't heard from Jerry for a while. And she calls the real estate place, but they said Jerry quit a couple of days ago. And she's like, What the hell? So then Jerry shows up and Susan's like, why did you quit your job and stuff? What's going on here? He's like, oh, it's that new receptionist lady. I'm going to call her. She just got everything wrong. All right. So he fakes calling her. All right. And then Jerry basically slips up. And I thought this scene was pretty creepy.
Right.
Probably out of the whole film. So he fucks up. He says something about like, and this is the Hodgkins house. And then Susan's like, what are you talking about? Who? And then Jared's like, oh shit, who am I supposed to be here again?
Yeah. I agree with you.
Creepy. That part
I thought that was pretty scary where he just where he just like says the wrong family name. Yeah, that was like, holy shit.
Now, it was creepy. I thought it could have been like a little creepier, but like I said, I think my opinion, I think the New Age hoarder probably would have done that a little better. But I still thought it was pretty creepy for the film in here. And then, of course, he knocks her out with the phone. Okay. And then he kind of like, they do this whole chase scene where they go down to the basement. During all this stuff, Jim is going door to door, and he basically found out that he basically goes door to door, and he goes to one of the houses that Jerry sold somebody to. Okay.
Right.
And it was kind of a funny scene because Jim knocks on the door. The guy answers like, "Are you the guy that's been fucking on my wife?" All right. And then the girl's like, "No, this is just a taxi driver." All right. And then Jim's like, "Have you seen this man?" It's like, "Yeah, that guy sold me my house and stuff." So now he figured out he was a real estate guy. And this is when Jim can kind of like, go down the list and see, who's the real estate person. All right. So he's kind of getting closer to where Jerry might be. Okay.
Yeah, I did like this part too, where he's like going through the list of realtors.
Yeah.
And like checking them off if they're not him. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, Jerry bashes Susan over the head with the phone, brushes her down the basement. Now he's assuming that she's dead. Jerry is now going to get Stephanie. Okay.
I love how they always assume that the person is dead. They never check.
No.
What shitty killers. Yeah, if you're going to kill somebody, you got to make sure they're dead. So
now Jim figures out where Jerry's at. Okay. Because Henry Morrison, that's the name Jim knew. But finally, the guy who he intimidated was like, "Hey, the guy who sold me my house is Jerry Blake." Okay. And on his piece of paper, he had the address for Jerry Blake because Jerry Blake recently got married to Susan. So that's why he figured out where to go. And that's why Jim figured out where to go now. So Jim basically breaks into the house while this stuff is happening. Okay. And he's looking around. Jerry closes the door. They stare at each other. Jerry says, "Oh, hi, Jim. How you doing?" Jim freezes like a bitch. And they get stabbed.
I hate that. Like he worked this whole time to find him. Yeah. And he had a plan and everything. He had a revolver in it. He had a pistol in his pocket. He was going to kill him. Yeah. Freezes. Too late.
So now we have our slasher portion of the film, which seems to always happen at the last like 15 minutes. Now Jerry is stalking Stephanie throughout the whole house, terrorizing her stuff. They go all the way up to the attic. Jerry falls through the attic. Okay. And then basically then Stephanie comes down, but then Jerry catches her. Okay. Yeah. But before he can capture her and stab Stephanie, Susan appears out of nowhere. She's not dead, brother. And she shoots him 4 times.
Not 6 times.
Not 6 times, brother. Just 4. That's right. That's right.
So I didn't die.
Our boys know Michael Myers, but he's trying. And then, like Michael Myers, all right, our boy reaches for his knife. All right. And then Stephanie reaches for it. She grabs away from him, stabs him right in the fucking heart, or supposedly.
Supposedly.
He falls down the stairs. All right. He says to her, "I love you," before tumbling down the stairs. Stephanie later, and then our boy is dead. Jerry's dead. All right. He took some punishment here. Got shot.
He did.
Stabbed. All right. And then we had the later film where Stephanie cuts down that birdhouse that Jerry put up. And that's the end of our film.
Yep. It was kind of a symbolic thing, right? Yes. She cut down the birdhouse they put up, which cemented their relationship. Now she's going to cut the fucking thing down and break all her ties with her serial killer stepdad.
Yes.
And now he's dead. So the series is over, right?
Series over. Until they're like, "Oh, shit, this actually made some money.
And we need more money, so let's bring it back."
All right, so this one did really good at the box office. Like I said, 2.5 million.
Yeah.
Okay. And anytime, anything, especially in the 80s, I'm saying now too, but especially in the 80s, motherfucker, that shit did what? Okay, let's do 5 more.
Exactly. Because if it made $1, let's make another one.
Bro, there's no way this movie cost even close to $1 million.
Oh no, hell no.
There's no
Hell no.
fucking way. So they're like, wait, they made what? let's run it back, brother.
Let's run it back. It's the Mustafa Akkad effect, right? Let's make another one. Let's make another one.
Now, speaking of Michael Myers stuff, there was a lot of Michael Myers stuff going on in this film. First of all, we have the terrorizing killer stalking young people.
Yeah.
Okay, Jerry, kind of. He gets shot 4 times, not 9 or 6.
Yeah.
He gets stabbed, just like Michael Myers did. And guess what? He's all right, brother. All he needed to do was just rest for a little bit, and he'd be fine.
Yes, just rest. That's all. Getting stabbed in the chest, all you got to do is just lay there for a little bit. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Put some dirt in it.
So that brings us to Stepfather 2. Make room for daddy.
Yes. We had to have this one.
1989. So this one we have a new director.
Yeah.
A director that we have talked about many times here on the Retro Blood, Jeff Burr. All right. He did he did a couple stuff that we I don't know if we actually talked to him. Yeah, we talked about him before, but he's done some fun stuff. You know, besides the 80s, he's done the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, which is a very interesting one, Puppet Master 4 and 5, and Pumpkinhead 2. All right, so he got some good stuff on there.
So he's made sequels to a lot of movies that we've liked.
So the one that we reviewed of his was a really good television movie. The first television movie we actually reviewed here on the Retro Blood, From a Whisper to a Scream.
Yes, so he directed that. That was a good movie.
Very good movie.
Yeah, and now he's making this.
So right now, yes, exactly. Well, if you look at his career, it looks like he's like the king of like sequels.
Yes.
Stepfather 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Puppet Master 4, 5, Pumpkinhead 2. He did the remake of Night of the Scarecrows. So,
true. Okay.
So very, very interesting. So, we do Retro Blood 90s. Obviously, we'll talk about him some more.
Absolutely.
I do like Pumpkinhead 2, Blood Wings. I actually like that movie. So I thought that was a fun one. So he's back here. All right. And this one was written by John Arbovich, and it is a sequel to The Stepfather. All right. And we have Terry O'Quinn's back. All right. But we have a new ladies cast.
We have to, because he killed all the other ones.
We have one, Meg Foster is here.
Yeah. She's a pretty famous actress.
With those fucking eyes, bro. I like
it.
All right.
So this was probably a big get for them to have Meg Foster in this movie. I would imagine in 1989 or whatever this came out.
Yeah, because she was doing some good stuff. Like she did The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
In
1980. Ticket to Heaven. All right. The Otters Men's Weekend. All right. Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, one of your favorite movies.
One of my favorite movies about brother.
I think she played Evil Lynn in Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, Evil Lynn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Golly. David, was it Lundgren? Oh God. Don't get me started.
Dolph Lundgren. Dolph Lundgren. Yeah. Jesus. Masters of the Universe.
She did They Live.
Oh yeah, she was in They Live. Yeah.
Leviathan. She's a bunch of shit, bro. Yeah, this is a big get for them to get her.
I would say so. Yeah.
We also have the girl from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. All right, Caroline Williams. She was in this one too. We may or may not be doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 this month. Wink, wink.
Maybe, right. Maybe not. It's a secret.
Yeah, secret. So let's see. So this one was also a theater release. It came out November 3rd, 1989.
Okay.
1.5 million at the box office. So obviously not as good as the first one. Okay.
So they released it like 3 days after Halloween, essentially.
Yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah.
Sure.
Which is not a bad slot, to be honest with you. I think there's something that came out this year that was around November 3rd. That was pretty big. Like I know Stranger Things is coming out. They're doing a November release.
Yeah, but that's at the end of November.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
or middle of November, maybe.
To be honest with you, there's a lot of horror movies that drop in October. So doing a November one, it should be fine.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. I mean, it's possible that maybe they just didn't want to compete against every other horror movie that was coming out in October, so they just put it out in November.
All right, so some of the production stuff about this one. The film was shot in December 1987 over the course of 25 days. All right.
Wow.
When Jeff Burr was first hired to direct Stepfather 2, it was shot with the intention of releasing a direct-to-video. So he thought he was going to do a direct-to-home video one, like our third one's going to be. But after seeing the final cuts, ITC Entertainment canceled the film's home video release in the hopes of securing it a theatrical run.
Right.
Burr's biggest challenge in approaching the sequel was in trying to create a believable way the stepfather could return following his definition ending of the first film.
Right.
I got a little cat there.
Yeah, sorry, he came along to visit.
No, you're good.
What's
up, Catty?
This is Asta.
What's up, Asta? I know y'all had a cat on there. It's cool. Does a cat like horror? What's his cat's favorite horror movie?
Halloween 2.
Oh yeah, that's a good one, brother.
Yeah, we watched that the other night. He just kind of stared at the screen the whole time. Yeah.
I don't know what my dog's favorite is. Like, he actually liked it when we were watching VHS. Like, he was actually quiet the whole time we were watching that.
Oh, yeah?
So I'm like, is this dog like found footage shit?
Yeah, I could just see that, like dog sitting for you, and we're watching. Me and your dog are watching found footage movies the entire time you're gone.
He's just thinking like, what the? All right, so he was trying to figure out like how to get the stepfather back, basically, because the guy got shot 4 times. Like they basically had a Michael Myers his ass and bring him back somehow.
Yeah. How are we going to bring him back? Well, they just missed every major organ.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So he said he was clearly dead, but now explain how to he had some life left in him. Burr stated that in addition to playing it more as a character-based thriller like the original rather than a horror film, Burr also tried to add some humor and satire, particularly in regards to mass media, particularly in regards to TV commercials and self-help gurus that promise easy answers and quick fixes. They sold the ITC sold the distribution rights to Miramax. Okay. So you'll like this one, Alison. After test screening of the film, Miramax executive Harvey and Bob Weinstein. Oh boy.
Oof. Oh boy.
No, for no surprise of people who listen to our Halloween H2O review, they've been critiquing shit since the 80s. And guess what? They complain that there was no blood in this fucking movie. Where's the blood, brother?
Exactly.
Where's it at? All right. So they demanded some reshots. Jeff Burr refused, and director Doug Campbell was hired to do the reshoots.
Okay.
Right? So in an interview, Burr commented, they cut a little bit of the film out and they added some badly boned blood effects. Badly done because Terry O'Quinn refused to do it. Really, they were meaningless, so that was they're irritating. So, which, they were. They were kind of just out of nowhere.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, even when they killed the girl from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Maddie. It was kind of off screen, and then they just hung her. All right.
Yeah, it just shows the aftermath.
Yeah. So, but what do you expect? They want to make some more. This is 1989 is a weird year, I would say. Probably from 1987 to about 91. I would say the slasher films were pretty much dead, but it had an audience.
Sorry,
you know what I mean? Like it had an audience, but it was like not as popular as it was. You know what I mean?
Well, right, but you also have to consider too that with a lot of horror films around this era, as we've talked about before, they kind of lost their edge. They kind of became more campy and humorous. Like the Friday the 13th movies became funny and people would go to watch Nightmare on Elm Street to laugh at Freddy Krueger, and he kind of became the hero, even though he's supposed to be like a murdering pedophile. So that's kind of what the fate of horror was at the time. Yeah. And the best horror movies were like the underground ones and European ones that we've talked about that were coming out around this time. But American slasher films were fucking dead because people were just laughing at them at this point.
Yeah. So it was, and we talked a little bit about this. Hope you all checked out our Halloween review for Halloween H2O. You can find it in the archives. If you haven't checked it out, it was a very fun discussion myself and Alison did on our Lights Out podcast.
Yeah.
Basically, the slasher genre did not get a kick in the butt until Scream.
Exactly. No, they remembered how to make a slasher
Yeah.
film at that point.
Because basically, especially the early part of the 90s, it was all about sequels.
Yeah.
Let's do sequels to popular movies and see if they. So, in the 90s, it was all sequels. And then in the later 2000s, it's all remakes. Let's remake every fucking thing.
I was about to say, now it's all like or then it was all remakes. And then now it's like sequels that may be sequels or maybe not.
Now is reboots.
Or reboots. Well, reboots that might be sequels though, like Scream. You got Scream 1, Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4, Scream 5, Scream 6, or whatever it's called. How, like they don't number the one that when they start making them again, and now it's all confusing. Like people 20 years from now, what do I fucking watch these then? I don't know.
Well, they Scream like they bring that up. I guess that's just part of the movies. But
true.
There is the reboots and the television horror is like the nowadays kind of stuff. So, like I said, this one didn't do as well. Obviously, we're having. So basically, you got to give it to this Jeff Burr guy. He was trying to do something a little different. I think his intention with this film was to make it more like a psychological thriller, more than like a slasher film. But the Weinsteins are like, brother, you better put some gore in that motherfucker. So it kind of made it a little wonky. I didn't really like the second one as much as like the first one. I just thought there was a little bit too. Some of it's just a little hokey for me. But Alison and everybody, let's talk all about it. Let's talk all about Stepfather 2.
Let's do it.
Jerry Blake, Henry Morrison, and before them, Bill Crater. They all had something in common. They were all for a time happily married, and they were all the same man. What kind of man changes names like other people change their clothes? Where do your thoughts take you?
There was an accident, kind of.
Just about anything that you'd want in a kitchen has been built in.
Well, my last house had a basement workshop. I like to work with my hands.
Do you specialize in your practice, Gene?
Family guidance types of problems. Where do your thoughts take you?
Phil left a little over a year ago. He's zeroing in on you, and he's ignoring everybody else. Dr. Gene Clifford, this is...
Phil Grayland, Carol's husband. Why is he here?
Oh, he wants a second chance.
Why don't you ask Phil to stop by and have a chat with me tonight? I think it's time I cracked open this file.
Carol, what exactly do you know about Gene?
I love him. Make room for Daddy.
How do I know he won't come back again?
I don't think he'll come back this time.
We're pouring our hearts out some guy who no one knows diddly about.
Come on, Maddie.
You don't even know if he's a real shredder. Who the hell are you?
Would you let me tell her?
What are you going to tell her? More lies?
Carol, I have a confession to make. She's agreed to become my wife. You will never find a better family man. Don't say your dress, sweetheart. I think we can work this out.
Terry O'Quinn and Meg Foster.
There's something that you should know about my past.
Stepfather 2. Dad is back.
All right. So we arrived in Puget Sound, Washington. You ever been there,
Yes.
Alison?
Nope. I've never been to Washington State. You have, though.
Oh, yeah, I have been, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been to like Washington, D.C.
Didn't you go to Washington State?
What are you talking about? No, actually, no. Well, I'm supposed to be going there. Seattle area. I mean,
your Seattle job got canceled. I remember that. Your Seattle gig got canceled.
Even though like they sent like one of my coworkers going out there next week, but I'll be next week. I'll be in assignment like I am this week. I'll be in Buffalo, New York.
Ooh, it's gonna be cold.
Exactly. So I'll be out there talking about some horror, doing my job, my shoot job. So it'd be fun. We'll see what kind of background hotel I get during that one. But just like I am right now in a strange room, our guy Jerry Blake is in a strange room. And guess what?
Yep.
He's alive.
Yeah, of course, because we can't kill him, right? We need a sequel.
Because evil dies tonight.
Not really.
Okay, not really. Okay. So, so now Blake, he's all like, "Oh, I got stabbed and shit. Oh shit." All right. So now,
Yeah.
Blake is meeting with the new psychiatrist of the psychic ward, one Gene F. Clifford.
Yeah.
All right. And Gene, but did you see this guy? This guy was totally fucking 80s psychologist guy. It was intense. So Gene is one of those like psychology guys that's like, he does like reverse psychology, tries to be nice to you, have you break down your barriers. I think the only psychologist guys that's actually worked on killers was those guys from Manhunt. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, yeah,
The
but they
detective
weren't
guy.
trying to stop them. They were just trying to talk to them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Gene was not trying to stop the guys in fucking psych ward. He was trying to help them get cured.
That's what I'm saying. But like, well, okay, that's a good point. That's what you're saying. Yeah. So the Manhunt guys definitely worked well with the killers, but nobody else in the history of horror movies has a psychologist ever worked on a slasher.
Unless we're missing something, but I don't think any of these. I mean, our favorite psychologist, Loomis,
is Loomis.
He became a madman. He became crazier than fucking Michael.
Exactly. I could just see Michael just sitting down with him and then trying to like talk some sense into Loomis. Like, why are you so crazy? Why do you do these things? Like, I'm just fixated on one thing. You're just a crazy person.
You're crazy, bro. All right. You almost shot that little girl. The hell are you thinking?
Exactly.
Right? So this guy, he's basically doing all these tricks and stuff. And the big thing about Jerry this time, remember, Jerry goes by, we don't know his real name, so everybody just calls him Jerry Blake because that's why he went.
Right.
That was his main name in the first movie, but we never find out unless they say it in the third movie, which
what his real name is. No, but in this one, he becomes Gene Clifford at some point.
Yeah, so basically he takes over the name of his therapist. And the reason is because a couple of things. So Jerry is a big carpenter guy. He likes building little houses and little minion houses because he loves perfect families. Clifford sees that and he wants to break down the psyche of what is the true issue behind your family obsession stuff. And, Jerry is just saying like, I just want the perfect family. Don't we all want love and affection, don't we?
Yeah.
Right. So basically he tricks Gene into trusting him. He keeps getting the guard to go away. Okay. But at this time, Jerry is one step ahead because he's pulling out his little hairs to make a mustache. Plus in his carpenter class, which I can't believe they have a saw carpenter class in an insane asylum.
I know. Like, what could go wrong?
You're telling me they have woodshop class at the fucking psych ward?
They probably do, actually, but it's just funny for me to think that you have this like psychotic murderer in a mental asylum, and you put him in a room full of saws,
exactly,
and axes and things like that, and hammers. Like, what could go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong?
Yeah,
give him some tools. Come on, brother, he'll be all right. So Jerry basically tricks Gene and he stabs him in the throat. Okay. Yeah. Then he calls in the security guard and he stabs him. And then Jerry takes over the security guard's outfit and puts on his fake mustache and he leaves good old Washington. All right.
Yeah.
So around his travels, Jerry robs a traveling sales guy. All right. And he steals his car and his money. All right. Then he checks into a hotel and then he alters up his appearance. Remember, he's really good at that. So he doesn't look like his, he basically shaves his face and now he has a nice hairdo and he looks like a completely new man.
It looks completely different now.
Yeah,
no one would possibly ever recognize it. No.
I mean, I couldn't recognize him at all.
No.
I mean, he did as well as Clark Kent does when he turns into Superman. I just could not.
Yeah.
You could still not tell me those two are the same. All right.
They should have done that for Stepfather 3.
Yeah.
Instead of saying he had plastic surgery, they should just have Terry O'Quinn go do a cameo and go into like a restroom or a bathroom and then come out and he's the other actor and he looks completely different.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good idea.
Because he just changed his hair. Yeah.
Or you know what they could have done? They could have just AI his face on. That's a new Stepfather, brother. We're just going to
yeah.
AI Terry's face from 1980 onto the new guy.
Yeah. AI is going to kill us all, hopefully soon.
Probably. All right. So now Gene, that's how he basically, Jerry has taken over Gene's name now. He wants to be a psychiatrist. All right. So he's taken over Gene, his background, everything. And he travels to Palm Meadows, Los Angeles. All right. So Gene, I guess maybe this traveling sales guy had like about $10K on him and cash apparently.
Apparently so.
Gene just goes out and finds a house, no problem. Boy, it must have been so easy in the 80s just to go out and find a random house. All right.
Yeah, it was a different time then for sure. Like to think that you could go and buy a house.
Especially in Los Angeles.
You could just go buy one.
I mean, they're all fucking burnt down now. How's he gonna find one now?
Right.
Golly, that's crazy, bro. I always like that. Like I always like in like horror films and stuff, especially during this time. Like, where do they get all their money at? Like, you just buy. Yeah, I'm a psycho killer who just stole $5 from the sales guy, and now I can buy a house.
Yeah, now I can buy a house because houses are 50 cents.
So in Palm Meadows, Gene, he's a psychiatrist now, and this is when he meets Caroline Garland, because Caroline is the realtor, and she's the one that sold Gene the house. Of course, Caroline, played by Meg Foster, and her eyes.
Yes.
Okay. And she leases the house to him. And she's like, oh, yeah, by the way, I live down the street. And my 13-year-old lives over there. I just so happen to be a single mom.
You should come visit.
And I'm just like, brother, what? What are the odds?
What are the odds?
What are the odds, brother? He just so happens to go to the neighborhood and meet the one single mom in the neighborhood. Jesus.
It's almost like it was booked that way.
I know. It's almost like it was written into the script. It's weird. Interesting. So now, Caroline, tells the neighborhood that, hey, we got a psychologist here, and he'll talk to all you women about your problems. So that's what he does. So all the women from the neighborhood go to Gene's house. Okay. And during the session, this is when we meet the girl from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Maddie. She's become the other character. Boy, is she crazy in that way. We'll get there. Yeah. So this is when Gene learns that Caroline's ex-husband, Phil, right, left his family the previous year. And he left on bad terms. Okay. So, and then they're all being counseled and everything. So basically, after a while, we can see that there's some affection between Carol and Gene, because Maddie also said, like, oh, man, you're single now. You should start looking. What about the Gene guy? He seems pretty cute. Okay. So basically, they start hanging out a little bit, Gene and Caroline. And then Todd's, obviously he's the kid Todd, 13-year-old son Todd. Okay. Who's actually played by
Jonathan Brandis. I was going to bring that up and forgot.
Yes. Jonathan Brandis, which I believe he didn't he get he died in November 12, 2003. But he was on a couple Never Ending Story 2.
Yes. Right? And I know him mostly from a TV show called Sequest DSV.
Yes. And unfortunately, he died of a suicide in 2003. So super sad story. But I do remember him. He was also in that miniseries It from 1990.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. He was in that.
Yes. So that's where I recognized him from. But I was like, man, he looks a little younger because this is one of the first movies he did. He did. Basically, it was this. I think. Okay, he was also in Pet Sematary as well. He was the kid in the Pet Sematary.
Really, I didn't know that.
All right. Well, let's see.
Pet Sematary 1.
Yeah, it says he was in Pet Sematary. He was a narration, so I'm not sure what that means.
Oh, okay.
But he basically did Pet Sematary, and he did this movie at the same time. But I think in Pet Sematary, he was only had a very small role. Like he wasn't the main kid.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
So he's basically down in the dumps because his dad left and stuff like that. He starts banging a ball against the wall, and then Gene goes out there And Gene is, obviously Gene's been with multiple families, multiple kids, so he knows how to win over kids. So basically, Gene is trying to win over Todd by showing him how to throw a baseball. Okay.
Right.
So get back here. So they're doing the baseball. All right. And he basically run them all over and stuff. So during all this stuff, Gene is doing a session, all right, with all the ladies of the street, figuring out all their problems and everything.
All the ladies of the street.
All right. And now he's after he's starting to warm up and find his new family of Caroline and Todd, he sees that Phil has come on home now. All right. And this is when Maddie starts to be kind of questioning him because he's kind of like off in the distance. And Matt's like, did you even hear what I said during my session and stuff? And he's like, oh, yeah, I got it all written down and stuff. So this is when Maddie is starting to be a little suspicious of Gene over here, being kind of weird. So now Gene's all pissed off because he wants Phil. Like, he's like, oh, fuck, this Phil's guy is going to ruin my score. You know what I mean?
Right.
Doing that. So now Gene's talking to Carol, all right? And basically the main plot over here is that Caroline and Phil don't really get along, but they're going to try to work stuff out. But Gene says, okay, well, let me talk to Phil, all right? And I'll see if he's actually true about his intentions to be, with you, unless he just wants to use you again. Right. So they agree to that. So now Phil comes over. He just playing it off like this guy's a dick or whatever. All right. So, because he met Gene before when Gene just came over and stuff. Right. All right. And then, Phil goes into place, starts smoking around, throws the ash on the carpet. Gene's like, well, she doesn't want nothing to do with you. He's like, well, I know you're fucking lying, so I'm out of here. And then Gene does some reverse psychology. He's like, all right, Phil, you caught me. I lied. But that was all part of the test. I had to really see if you were true to Caroline or not.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
All right. So it looks like you are. So I will tell you that you are. And he's like, all right, man. Well, I guess we know. That makes up for the rug.
I guess so.
All right. And he's about to leave. He's like, no, let's have a little drink. All right. So they're about to have a drink. And then boom, Gene smashes over the head with a bottle.
Yeah, got rid of him.
Then he stabs him to death. That was probably added in by the Weinsteins. Then he covers up Phil's body. And during this stuff, two things happen. The first thing is before Phil came over, this is when Todd is down the dumps. And Phil tries to talk to Todd, but Todd doesn't say anything. So Todd saw Phil go to Gene's house. The second thing is this is when Maddie and Caroline were talking, and Maddie's bringing up a little bit of how Gene's weird and everything, but then Phil's there. So, but then eventually Caroline calls them and she asks like, "Hey, is Phil still there?" And then Gene says, "Well, we're wrapping up." And she's like, okay, well, get him to call me when he gets back to the hotel. And then he hangs up the phone and he looks at Phil's dead corpse and says,
that was great.
It's like, Caroline called. She wants you to call her.
That was fantastic. I love that. I love that.
All right. So now Gene covers up Phil in a rug. That's his trope. He steals his car and he goes to I like this too. He goes to a junkyard in the middle of the night and just gets in there. Easy.
Well, sure.
You do that? Can you do that right now, Alison? Can you?
No, I'm sure you can, but I'm sure you can.
Did he have some sort of credentials?
Yeah, he probably had the hookup. Yeah, maybe he impersonated a junkyard guy earlier in his career of murdering. I thought it was pretty funny though when he's driving the car around and the car stalls and he's like next time buy American or something like that. That was pretty funny.
Next time buy American, brother. All right. And so then he takes a pipe and smashes up the car like Goldberg did on that Nitro or that Thunder, but he fucked up his arm. He smashes it. All right. And he leaves the car there. All right. So now Maddie, okay, keeps being suspicious of this Gene. You know what I mean? So she's all like, I just don't, I don't trust this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of things happen. All right. So basically what happens during all this is obviously Phil didn't do the phone call. Okay.
Right.
And Caroline's asking Gene, like, what happened to Phil? Is like, well, he just wasn't there. You know what I mean? And this, obviously Gene went to the hotel, got all of Phil's stuff out there, buried it in the car. We have the car that he put him in, the non-American car. It got smashed and destroyed at the junkyard. By the way, no blood through the car.
No. But maybe there wouldn't be. I mean, he's just crushing the car.
No body was found.
True.
I'm pretty sure if that car crushed, they would find the body because
they would find the body for sure.
Blood is unless I'm the crazy one. Blood is like water. Well, water will find its way out of almost anything.
True.
So
that's true.
Maybe I'm the crazy one. Sorry. Okay. So we didn't get any of that. And basically during all this time, Caroline is wanting to move on with her life. And now she has agreed to marry Gene. After
knowing him for like 3 days or however long. It's not been that long.
That's all you got to do, brother. You just got to.
That's all you got to do, brother.
All right. So Maddie hears all this, and she is the worried one. She's like Stephanie from the first film. She's all worried about this now. She just so happens to be a male person. And
yes.
So one of the biggest things that also Maddie was suspicious of was during one of the sessions, she forgot her male hat. Okay. So she came back into Gene's house. And at the time, this is when Gene was freaking out because this is when Phil just recently got back into the lives of Caroline. And he was like smashing stuff, playing with his wood machine. Apparently he has a saw down there too. I don't know where he gets all his money from, but I guess he gets maybe they have a good salary that he gave him on all these girls.
Maybe.
So Maddie hears all this, and then Gene comes up there, and there's a really awkward transaction between them two. Okay, so that's why Maddie's suspicious of our Gene character. So she's so suspicious that she finds a piece of mail. She brought up earlier too that this Gene guy. She told us to Caroline, this Gene guy doesn't get any kind of mail from anybody in Kentucky because that's what he said he was from. Okay, and he finally gets a mail from Kentucky. Maddie breaks the law and opens up the mail.
Yes.
Reads it, and she finds out that Gene is not who he says he is.
No way.
All right. So they arrange a meeting in a park. Smart by her. She probably learned that from all of her Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
Meet somebody in person, in public.
Meet in person, not this crazy land of Texas.
Yes. So
they're talking, and she's like, "Well, tell me who you really are and stuff." He's like, "Well, I'm Gene and everything." And she's like, "Well, no, you're not. You said you're from Kentucky, but this guy's from what do you say, Maryland or something?" And he's like, "Well, no, I said I had my practice in Connecticut. Yeah.
I think Connecticut, yeah." And so he makes up a lie.
Yeah, he says, "Well, I never said I was from Connecticut. I said my practice was in Kentucky."
Right.
All right. And she's like, "Well, explain this photo." And the photo is like a whole basketball team of black dudes. And he's like, "Oh, please don't tell." He's like, "There's no explaining that, brother." Okay.
There's no explaining that. You're right.
No explaining that one. He's all like, "Just don't tell Caroline. I'll tell her." And she's like, "You promised to tell her, you fucking creep." He's like, I'll do it. Just let me do it. So Gene goes back home. All right. And they are, he basically doesn't really, he's about to tell Caroline, but he doesn't. And his and Caroline's relationship is like a little rocky because like he didn't want to, Gene doesn't want to have sex out of wedlock.
Right.
All right, you got to test it before you buy it.
Yeah, you absolutely do. I completely agree with that. But like, I just think it's hilarious that this mass murderer doesn't want to have sex outside of marriage.
Well, remember, he's an old school man.
Yeah, true.
With old school values, brother.
Values,
All right?
values involving murder.
If you don't do my values, I'll kill you. All right.
Yes.
So
That's great.
now Gene's like, well, I'm going to lose this girl, so maybe I'll get some little action. So they eventually have some sex.
Mhm.
All right. But Gene doesn't tell her anything. You know what Gene does? He goes to Maddie's house and starts stalking her like Michael Myers.
Yep.
So obviously we have Maddie. She gets scared by the cat at first. All right. Or our suspense scene.
Mm-hmm.
Then she looks out the window and everything. And then boom, Jerry comes into the room, starts attacking her. They all fight a little bit. And then he eventually chokes her out. And she kind of dies like off screen. So basically he chokes her out. And then next thing we see him hanging her up on like she did like a suicide.
Right.
Okay. So after this, now we get everybody hear the news that Maddie supposedly killed herself. Caroline's super upset. All right. They go by the house and everything. And Gene and everybody, they were shocked because the neighbor thought it might have been one of Maddie's boyfriends that did this to her. Now, why did this blind neighbor not tell the cops this? I don't know, but he didn't.
Who knows?
He told Caroline and Gene this.
Yeah, like how could he? Like that was the thing that got me the most. Like, okay, I like the idea of the blind neighbor figuring it out because of the song, right? Because he's whistling Camptown Races.
Yes, remember we didn't talk about that. That's like his little tune that he does when he kills people.
Yeah, and he whistles it all the time, and it's like it's his gimmick essentially.
And before you go, he also taught Todd how to whistle like that too.
Right, to whistle that song. So then the blind neighbor knows somebody crossed the lawn and they were whistling Camptown Races, so it can only be Jerry / Gene. But he doesn't tell anybody. He just tells the person that he thinks the killer is, which is weird. But yeah.
So now we're getting some wedding stuff. Now Caroline doesn't know if they should get married because of all what's going on. But then Gene gets
maybe not
upset about it. He's like, "What the fuck? We ain't gonna get married?
I'm gonna have to kill you all."
And then he's all like, "Okay, well, the important thing is we just go to the fucking house and get the certificate. Okay,
that's what we need. Go to the courthouse. Yeah.
All right. So, that's the main action that they're doing. All right. Okay. So now we were doing, at first Caroline wanted to call it off. Then Gene didn't want to call it off. And then they kind of agreed, well, we'll just do the house. We'll just go get, married. Like now have this whole big extravagant wedding. But then they decided just to do the wedding. So that was like half the part at the end. So now we're doing dress rehearsals in the church. Okay. So now, two things. So on the night of the murder, Gene came back to Caroline and gave her a glass of wine. Okay. And he says, yeah, this is, and she's like, where did you find wine at this late at night? He's like, well, I have my ways. Okay.
Yeah.
He gives the same wine to her again.
Right. Yeah.
At the dress rehearsal. And this is also the same wine that was at Maddie's house. Okay. And she's looking at that wine and she's like, man, like, what? This is like the same wine that you brought me. And it's also the same wine from Maddie's house.
Weird.
And like, I'm pretty sure like if that was the only clue, maybe our boy would have been clever enough to overcome that. But then she hears Todd whistling that sound. Camptown Races. All right. And she goes up to Todd, like, where did you learn that? She's like, well, Gene taught me. All right. And then now with these two evidence in front of her, Caroline's thinking like, oh shit, like this guy probably might have had something to do with Maddie's death. So Caroline confronts him about it. All right. And then now Gene is just like, he's like, not hearing this at all. He's like, what? Who am I during this? And then he fucking just starts attacking him. All right.
Right.
So he locks Todd into a storage unit.
Mhm.
All right. And he goes out and chases Caroline around there. All right. And so, like, this is a big, this Gene guy didn't really thought about this like too much. Like like at the first movie, he was going after Stephanie and Caroline in their house. No witnesses until Jim just showed up and went out of the blue. This one is at a fucking dress rehearsal. We got a whole fucking staff of people out in the fucking hall waiting for you guys. And you're going to kill her back over here in the church? Like, what the fuck?
Weird. Yeah.
So he's going after her and stuff. They go through a couple of different rooms. He throws her down. He finally catches up to her, throws her down on the table, is about to stab her. Todd, clever man for a 13-year-old. All right. He grabs himself a screwdriver and a hammer, breaks himself out of the door. All right. And he confronts Gene. Okay. And he knocks, basically with the hammer, he knocks the knife out of Gene's hand. All right.
Yes.
And then he eventually stabs him in the back with the claw hammer. All right. So first of all, he gets knifed. Knifed him in the chest by Caroline.
Yeah.
Then he gets the knife out of his chest and he's about to stab Caroline with it. That's when Todd comes over, knocks the hammer out of him, and then Todd kills him with the back of the hammer.
Right. With he stabs him with the claw hammer in his chest. Yeah.
So, and then of course, when Gene falls down, he grabs one of the wedding cake toys, figures.
Yeah.
Says, "Forever, to death do us part."
Yeah.
So then Carol and Todd walk into the wedding ceremony. Everyone is shocked to see them all covered in blood. All right, until Carol collapses on the floor. All right. So then I guess the ending, I don't know if I saw this part, but the film apparently ends with Gene getting up, stumbling through the room from the wedding party and collapsing on the floor by destroying wedding cake, weakly uttering "till death." Then see me dying from his wounds. And it, so, yeah.
That's where my version ended. Yes.
And
there's an extended version too.
Yeah.
Did you watch it on? Well, anyway, let's finish this and I'll ask this question.
Yeah. So I didn't see the extended version. So in the extended version, after Carol and Todd are sent to recoveries, the scene shows that they are finally living happier and confident without Gene as they enjoy playing in the park together.
Yeah. Did you watch it on Tubi?
No, I watched it on Prime.
Okay. So the Tubi version is just the regular version.
Yeah.
And it's a straight DVD rip.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know how so basically it's got black bars on the sides and the top and the bottom, and your picture's like right in the middle of the screen. Cause that's how widescreen DVDs in the 90s used to be made.
Yeah.
Like they were like, that's how you made a widescreen DVD for a, square television, like an old style TV. So it's just a straight DVD rip, but it's just the regular version. It's not the extended one. Yeah. So did yours end? Well, apparently yours also just ended with him saying "till death" and then falling on the floor.
Yeah, fall on the cake. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but apparently there's an extended version where it shows Carol and Todd playing in the park, happy together.
Yeah. So
so whatever.
So
our ending was just not good.
Yeah, fine, dramatic ending. Okay, and then of course, like we said, there was a third one that came out in the 90s. Basically, has Terrio is not there anymore. We have a reconstructed face, and then they basically the ending to this they retconned. It's not there. Never happened.
What is all a dream?
Yes, and then of course there was a remake. I believe it was in 2009, something like that.
Yeah, because we needed that.
So overall, I thought this two shows were okay. The first one was way better, obviously.
Yeah.
Second one was all right. I thought it dragged a little bit on certain parts. Wasn't as creepy on certain parts, but it was a fun little movie, I would say. Definitely probably won't be on my rotation of watching it, but I thought it was fun for what it was.
I'll probably never watch this again, but I mean it was fine for what it was.
Yeah. Everybody, join us here for our jam-packed Thanksgiving November month, Killer Families Month here on the Retro Blood, because we are going to be talking about some family members of death, some killer families, and some all-out craziness. Because next week we are going to explore a very taboo, a very controversial film for its time, Mother's Day.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a crazy one. If y'all like Last House on the Left, if y'all like Deliverance, it's going to be on that kind of reign of shit. I've never seen it before, but I've heard about it. I heard
it's an infamous film, so I haven't seen it either, so this is going to be good.
Oh. And then we're going to be coming back in the middle of October with a very rare movie to find that I actually picked up from a horror convention a long time ago. It's actually a Thanksgiving-style horror film called Home Sweet Home.
Yes. I love when we do these rare ones.
Very rare. I don't think you can find it streaming, brother. It's fucking rare shit. And of course, to end November, we are probably going to be talking about one of the most famous killer families of them all, because we're going to be doing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. All right?
Classic.
Now, what we'll try to do, if we have time, because, me and Alice are busy, we'll either try to do a lights out on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre if we have time. If we don't, what we'll do is we'll talk about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre on that episode. So that's what we'll do.
One of the two.
One of the two. So, but everybody, thanks for joining us here on the Retro Blood. Obviously, no music tonight because we didn't talk about any of that stuff. But hope you all join us here for this month of love and family.
And food.
And food. And murder.
And murder.
J.H.
I'm going to murder some food.
Murder some food. We'll see y'all later.
See you guys.